I don't know about you guys, but has the entire Web3 space been non-existent the last 2 days?
I haven't noticed. I haven't been on.
Yeah, it's been interesting. There's definitely a I don't know. I think there's a little bit of a momentum shift that's happening.
The crypto is still going. People are still buying. So that didn't go anywhere.
Sorry, my whole some of these links out.
Facebook is taking a dive, down 5% today. Where's Netflix? There it is.
Alrighty. Guys, whoever is in here, if you could share this room, that would be incredible. Putting out some links now.
Do you buy any? Do you buy stocks, Jordan?
No, I don't actively, just in more of a retirement portfolio fashion. Yeah.
So you're just buying virtual real estate right now.
Yeah, only virtual. No, I do some crypto, but yeah, no stocks.
Cool. We just had an alert for our Bitcoin swing. We just sold a portion today.
Noted.
All right.
Cool. All right.
It's like I feel like I'm like a robot whenever we do these. I'm trying to get out every little link to everyone.
Yeah. Where can I share the room? Like, where you guys, where are these links at?
Just on Twitter.
Okay.
I'm already taking over your server by posting in there now.
Cool.
Tyler's really good about that stuff. I get a bit spoiled, you know. I'm just waiting here for this thing to start while Tyler posts in like 6 different channels and is still talking with me at the same time.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Right.
How was Lisbon, Jordan? How did everything go there?
It went great. From what's been reported to me, I didn't make it out there myself, but yeah, I think it was a great, mostly networking opportunity for our team that was there. They made some great connections from Ledger to the Nemesis Metaverse. They made a connection with the German Soccer Federation, which is kind of crazy and random, but might fit into some things that we're going to do here. So yeah, it was good. It was worth the trip.
The German Soccer Federation was in Portugal.
Yeah, it was like a couple individuals from the German Soccer Federation, which were charged with, bringing NFTs to soccer in Germany. And the German Soccer Federation basically controls soccer from youth all the way up to professional soccer. So it's kind of it's a very big deal. But,
the Bundesliga.
Yeah.
Crazy. It's crazy who you come into contact with through the NFT space and what becomes like how it all interconnects. Like even for like South by Southwest, when I went there, like the amount of people that I met, and within 5 minutes of talking, I was like, this is on completely different spectrums of NFTs. And then after 15 minutes, it's like you're forming collaborations with people that are in, the boating industry. It's like something ridiculous. And you're like, how is all this interconnecting?
So, right. I mean, people have such different perspectives on what a non-fungible token and blockchain technology can do for them. And in their specific industries. It's really cool. And it's also so cool that it's so ubiquitous and applicable everywhere. I mean, everyone needs a smart contract and some verifiability. So,
shall we
Yep.
get officially started?
I was just about to say, yep. So all three of us have about half an hour or 40 minutes or so. So let's get cracking. But welcome everybody that's in the room. I just wanted to say quick good morning, and I hope you've all woken up well after 420. But we are here with Jordan Norwood, the founder of the Whitelist.io, and we met in South by Southwest a couple of months ago for an event that they were holding, and ended up collaborating and doing a lot of meet and greets with a lot of his members and finding out a lot about his project. And it's something that not only myself, but a lot of our members have come to love. And we're finding that as each week goes by, a lot of our members are starting to ace into Jordan's project that really is incredible. So it was only fitting that we get him on this week and chat a little bit about, the last 6 months of the whitelist, NFTs, what's been, what's happening, what's coming, and how it's just been a roller coaster. So we're just going to touch on basically all three of those things and see where we end up.
Awesome. Yeah, no, Tyler, Martin, appreciate you guys for having me. And it's been a fun time getting to know you all and getting to know Alpha Traders and seeing some of your members come over to ours and vice versa. So it's been fun. The past 6 months has been a roller coaster, to say the least. And I can jump into it a little bit if you want, but
can we start at the beginning just real quick for maybe some members that aren't familiar with the Whitelist.io, and just explain a little bit about the inspiration behind the project. How did you get into it? I know you were a professional football player before this, so what made you take the transition into NFTs?
Cool. Yeah. So the Whitelist Aces collection is a lifestyle brand and membership. Our membership gains access to in real life events, experiences. A lot of those events and experiences surround and are executed or will be executed through our sports concierge service or our travel concierge service. So we're working on building that out and what that looks like to be an ACE holder. And ACE is what we call our NFT character, and thus what we call our members, our ACEs. So to be an ACE holder, what does it look like to go onto our platform and talk to our travel concierge and book travel using the membership? And that's what we're building out. In terms of my background, like you said, Martin, I played NFL football. I played 8 years of NFL football. Bounced around from Cleveland to Philadelphia to Denver, where I am now. I finished my career here with the Broncos and retired from football in 2017. And between 2017 and 2021, when I started the Whitelist Aces collection, I was basically in a few different entrepreneurial roles. A lot of it surrounded creativity, photography, and graphic design. And then also did some cryptocurrency trading, things like that. Kind of, those two things together, cryptocurrency and graphic design, as well as being like a sneakerhead for myself, being into collectibles, that kind of leads you directly at NFTs. So that's how I landed in the space. Talking about a 6-month time frame, 6 months ago is pretty much when I started the Whitelist Aces collection project, started building out the team, met a couple incredible artists that live in Munich, Germany. I met them through a different NFT project called The Drops. Basically just built it out from there. I had this vision of a membership that gave access to people to sports and travel and restaurants. And we're working on, continuing to build that out.
Just real quick, my Zoom's been acting up the last 3 or 4 times I've been on meetings, and it's just stopped the recording again. So I'm just gonna start, like we can continue, but just so that you're aware that it's gonna say recording in progress. So, but on that note, you mentioned like luxury travel and restaurants and all that kind of stuff. Like I know that's something that you guys have been looking into a lot, even more so lately. Is that kind of where, like, is that the direction of NFTs where that you think NFTs are going?
I think it's one direction. Goodness, I mean, I think there's, as we mentioned, I think there's so much application where blockchain technology comes into play, where actual non-fungible tokens come into play, that it's tough for me. It's tougher for me to say where I think it's going than for me to say where I don't think it's going.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it's easier to say, a profile picture in and of itself is not the best application of the technology of a non-fungible token. And so for me, in terms of where it's not going, I don't think that we're going to see this huge explosion of profile picture collections, specifically, unless those profile pictures come with, an incredible utility that that needs to have some verifiability on the blockchain, which is what we're trying to build. But I think the profile picture boom is waning.
I mean, it's been waning for the last 3 or 4 months.
So let's assume that we are going to evolve beyond profile picture NFTs, right? And you're now having real world discussions with executives, businesses, corporations. I mean, what are they trying to do with NFTs that you could see, kind of coming out in the next few years that wouldn't be revolving around, a player PFP card or something?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's two parts of that. I mean, I think there's the technology first, like the NFT first sorts of companies, like like NBA, like Dapper Labs, who are basing their business model off of NFTs, and then there's legacy corporations that have been around for decades that are going to get into the space and figure out how NFTs then fit in, kind of retroactively fit into what they're doing. And for me, I think the most applicable is ticketing. I mean, whether that's sports tickets, concert tickets, or maybe more specifically, sports and concert tickets, these items that are already collectibles. People are already, getting these, Super Bowl tickets and saving them, framing the actual physical item. And so it's like a natural transition in my mind where a ticket both gives you entry, but so there's that verifiability aspect, but then there's also the collectability of it also, which is equally as important to to the event goer, is being able to memorialize the event, and being able to do that with an NFT. Just, I mean, that makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, that's really, I think, and it sounds more efficient too, right? Then you don't have all of these ticket printers and scanners, and like it could all be under one system, and it could be transferable on secondary markets, like you see, people buying and selling their tickets. Sounds like a perfect solution.
Right. I mean, and you can actually see, like, you can see that the person that owns the ticket didn't actually go to the, event or game if they bought it on the secondary market. Like, you can track if they actually went or if they bought it afterwards, after somebody else went. So,
right.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's so many applications. I mean, basically, in my mind, every industry, non-fungible tokens or blockchain technology in general is ubiquitous. Like, everything can use it somehow.
You like coming from the NFL world, are you finding the conversion rate of your threat, like players and businesses within that NFL world that you have strong ties to, are you finding the conversion rate over is much at all, or are you kind of a bit of a sole player in that aspect?
No, I think most, well, if we talk specifically about athletes and former athletes that I've interacted with, I would say a lot of them are interested in NFTs and Web3. Um, and I think part of it is because there are a lot of collector personalities already, whether they grew up collecting trading cards or sneakers or what have you. So they already have that sort of personality or preference. And then on top of that, you when you're in a locker room setting, you have a bunch of guys that turn into entrepreneurs. They just, they're handed a few dollars and now it turns into, what business are you going to start? How are you going to invest this money? And in years past, it's been everybody's just starting a clothing line, like clothing line, which is fine. It's a way for, individuals to express themselves artistically and creatively. But I think NFTs and blockchain kind of start to get, replaced with clothing line. And it's like, how can I make NFTs that, either creatively is an outlet or artistically, or maybe even deeper than that, there's some sort of utility or functionality that, an athlete wants to execute. And, NFTs are the vehicle to do it. So it's definitely conversation. There's definitely a lot of conversations surrounding that. And I would say that it might be more than other industries. Those conversations might be happening in sports locker rooms.
For sure. Go on.
No, I love the metaphor, like, because you think of locker rooms, and it's really cool now to think about it as like a space for entrepreneurial like ideas to be exchanged, and like a big room of people talking about what businesses are going to start. It sounds like a fun place to be. And the ticketing concept with NFTs, you say it very like a matter of fact, like nonchalant, like everybody knows this, but I think a lot of people haven't thought about this stuff yet. Like even a lot of people in the NFT space, they get so tunnel vision on just like what they're seeing right now. The PFPs on OpenSea. And so those nuggets that you're providing us about how the whole sports industry and ticketing for concerts and music, I mean, it's all coming. It gets me excited, and I appreciate you explaining that to people, because even I wouldn't have like, it's not the first thing that comes to my mind when I'm thinking about NFTs. I'm thinking about everybody's talking about how it's going into games, and NFT space in gaming is going to be huge. But I think you're right that sports and concerts and just any type of IRL, a ticketing event, I mean, this is a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Right.
All headed into NFTs.
Exactly. I mean, and I think with ticketing, what makes it different than NFTs as it relates to the gaming industry, and I'm not a huge gamer, so I could be wrong, but it seems easier to implement right now in ticketing. Like it could happen a lot quicker. The only hurdle really is the user interface, and how do you onboard somebody into cryptocurrency, really, like, or having an ETH wallet more specifically, or any whatever chain the tickets are going to be on. But how do you make that process as seamless as possible to where, I want season tickets to the Denver Broncos. I am not Web3 native. Like, the Broncos are going to, or in my opinion, sports organizations are going to start being custodians of wallets. So, the fan doesn't actually have to create a wallet if they don't want to. The Broncos will be the custodian. But your ticket is going to be an NFT. And this is me thinking out loud. I shouldn't say the Broncos because I have no idea if they're doing this. But pro sports organizations in general.
This is fascinating to me. Can you explain that? What do you mean? So the sports team will create a wallet for all of their ticket holders. And so when the ticket holder buys it, are they using dollars, or are they going to need to use cryptocurrency? So you're explaining that to take away the friction, right, that they don't have to convert to cryptocurrency, they can use dollars still to buy those tickets, right?
Right. And this is, first of all, this is hypothetical. This is in my mind, it's where the ticketing can go. But yeah, I mean, it would be, as far as a custodian goes, you know, the sports organization is actually holding the keys to all the wallets. You know, so if Martin, if you want season tickets to, I'm trying to make up a team so I don't use a real example, but I can't think of a good mascot.
The Fireflies.
Yes, that is a great cricket team, I feel like. But anyways, if you want season tickets to the Fireflies and you're not Web3 native at all, you know, you just want to spend your, you know, USD and buy the tickets and have it and be over with. You know, what's happening on the back end, you know, you click buy, you send your $2,000 for the season tickets. But what the Fireflies organization is doing is, you know, obviously converting it. They're creating a wallet for you, first of all, converting your USD to ETH or Matic or whatever it needs to be converted to, and then depositing it into your wallet, executing the transaction to buy the season tickets. And then every week of the season, they're airdropping this non-fungible token to that wallet, which pops up on your Fireflies app as a ticket. And, you know, maybe it pops up just before game time. So there's a crazy anticipation. You're waiting to see what this graphic looks like. Just before game time, it pops up, you enter the stadium. And use that NFT that pops up within the app to get in. And, you know, and afterwards, you know, maybe the whole time of the game, there's an app within the Fireflies app, or a section where you can upload pictures and videos. You know, one of the players comes over to you and you take a selfie with them, and it's attached to that moment in the app along with your NFT ticket. I don't know. I mean, this is, again, me thinking out loud on where this can go. I went to a concert 2 nights ago. There's a long line for merch. Everybody wants, you know, to memorialize that experience. And why not do that with the ticket itself?
So it's such a topic in NFTs in general, regardless of what you're talking about, whether it be tickets, PFPs, or utility of any kind, that I find that once the conversation starts, it's so hard to stop going down that rabbit hole. And I think, like, I was on a call yesterday with someone from back home who's like really starting to get into NFTs from like a founder standpoint. And you know, they said, like, what's the biggest hurdle and what's the biggest learning curve? And I said, like, the biggest hurdle is realizing at some point that the thing stopping you is your imagination. And it's like the first industry that I've found where your imagination really is the limit. Like there isn't anything that can't be done within this space. And it is just up to how far you want to think about it, and how and if you can find the people to execute those things for you. But that's it. Like there's so many limitations in every other industry, and with this, it's, as you said, like it goes to pictures with the fans, to like you can, like there isn't a limit, which I think is incredible. But on that note, I am going to actually do a complete backflip of this conversation to something that I've been sort of quizzing over in my head. But in the NFT space, I find that the attention span of people, like the community, is between 4 and 5 seconds, right? And, you know, a project launches, everyone buys in, and then everyone, you know, flips and trades and whatever. And then you've got some long-term holders, but attention span is minimal. So people never really follow up or stay within a community for very long. And it's rare that even for myself, I follow along a journey of a project. Now with your project, I've noticed that you guys have a lot of members who have ridden the whole journey with you guys and are becoming increasingly more enthusiastic about your project. How do you find your community and the way your community what is from mint day to like say 6 months down the line or 5 months down the line, now that the initial mint day hype is over, because no one really ever talks to projects down the line after they're minted?
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, it's been a lot of intentionality. Well, first of all, I mean, post mint is just crazy, like you said, with individuals trying to, flip their way out of the project, and if they realize they can't, make 2x in literally a day or less than a day, they'll exit for pennies just so that they can, move on, both mentally and financially. So riding that wave has been really interesting. And as far as how we've, at this point, how we've built the community that we have right now is really just being intentional on engaging. So, I mean, for me as a founder, I'm at least spend, 30 minutes, even if it's just 30 minutes, but at least 30 minutes a day, chatting in Discord, saying what's up, seeing how everybody's doing. And honestly, I don't know that even, I mean, I'm a part of a lot of projects, or have been in the past, that you don't even get that much. You don't, you might get a note, an announcement from a founder, maybe every 10 days or 2 weeks. And just an announcement, not them hanging out in the Discord, chatting, talking, answering candid questions and tough questions, and responding to FUD, which is what, I do personally, and my team does also. So I think what gets lost in the shuffle a lot of times is that there's real people involved here. There's real people behind these PFPs. There's real people behind these Twitter accounts sometimes. But I mean, yeah, I guess I shouldn't be so general with that comment. There isn't always real people, but we hope there's real people involved, and real people going through real situations, who really potentially do need liquidity when they say need liquidity, and a big part of our brand is finding those real people and like interacting with them and hearing their stories, and hearing what they want, and how we can potentially bring them value. And for being an NFT brand and membership that is trying to bring value in real life, it's going to take a level of doxing for people to receive that value. I mean, even if they're only doxing themselves to us as a team, or executive team of the project, it's going to take a level of that. You want a free hat, we need your address and name and address to send it to you. Like, you got to send me that if you want the hat, or if you want the, whatever it is. I mean, if you want to go on this trip, come to this event, we need to know about you. Like, how are we going to get this done if we're not learning about each other? So, I think, go ahead.
No, I mean, I really like what you're saying, and I'm curious, in this kind of transition from minting and then to now, where you are basically curating a group of real people that are going to be on this journey with you. How long do you think it took to kind of settle in after that mint? Like, people are changing hands and coming and going, and at what point do you feel like you kind of got into that groove of like finding that core identity?
Right. I mean, honestly, I think we're still settling in. We definitely do have a core, in terms of Discord itself. We have a core group of individuals that are what I call enthusiasts, ride or die. They're not going anywhere. Just like we as a team aren't going anywhere. But again, I think it's been because we've gotten to know people. I think it's it's kind of, my personal candidness when I, respond to FUD or answer questions that has caused people to either become an enthusiast or say, peace out, I'm leaving, like this isn't what I signed up for, which is also fine. The anticipation is the people that want to sell and leave our particular brand. The hope is that they're immediately replaced by individuals that, that are on the other side of that coin. They see the value, they see what we're trying to build. They see the other members that we have that have been patient. And by patience, I mean, we minted 75 days ago, maybe. So that's being patient. And yeah,
which is crazy. Which is crazier that that's what's called patience these days.
You guys ever follow up a little bit on the Zappos company? You guys read about them? They had a really interesting thing where, in order to create a good working environment, they actually had a situation. I don't think they still do this, but I remember at one point they actually implemented a policy where they would pay employees to quit, to leave the company. And so they were almost incentivizing people, saying, hey, if you're not enjoying this place, don't be here just for the paycheck. I will double your salary if you leave today. Like, I'll pay you 2 months now to get out.
Wow.
And that was a way to kind of curate a really nice group of communities that wanted to be there and wanted to be on that journey with the company. And I feel like NFTs, through membership NFTs, because they're NFTs now an asset, it's kind of the same concept. It's like, you can sell your NFT and profit to leave our group. So anybody that, and so in some ways it's kind of a natural effect where it's the same concept, where people that are holding it are in it because they're incentivized by the utility, by the community, that they, and there's always that saying, like, hey, if you don't want to be here, sell your NFT,
right. I mean,
and that creates a really fulfilling type of, where every month that goes by, even though the NFT space, a month is a long, a really long time, every month the people that are in it longer and longer, the people that are coming in it are there because they want to be in the club, and they're not doing it for the money. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, I agree. And I mean, to your comment about how long a day is in NFT world, I think it's starting to, if 1 week in NFTs is a year, right now, I think it's starting to get more level with, real time frames. And most of that, in my mind, is because, I mean, if you're a Web3 company, you still need to interact with Web2 companies and people in the real world that have, real world deadlines and time expectations. So, if I approach a company A, about being a partner with the Whitelist Aces collection and providing, discounts and promotions and, free consumer goods to my membership, that conversation isn't going to happen in one day. We might talk, we might say, okay, let's circle back, next week, let's get on another call. Okay, we had that call, let me bring in my superior into the conversation. And that call is scheduled for 2 more weeks out. So, I mean, those things take real time. And, as soon as the expectations in Web3 communities can start to align more with the expectations in the real world, I think there'll be a lot more loyal memberships and loyal communities where people are staying engaged for longer periods of time. So that's kind of,
That's a great point, that the time frame of how fast Web3 space will have to naturally become more in line with, the more traditional industries by necessity. Because if we want to expand this space and integrate into all other aspects of the economy, like, we will have to adapt to their pace. I like that.
Yeah, how's it been for you guys in terms of your community and I don't know, I guess managing expectations and managing those surrounding the pace specifically? Do you guys feel any pace pressure?
I think things are very different for us because we don't have the attached floor price and the attached mint price, and we don't have the finances attached, which I personally, I don't see that as a big thing, even for myself when I'm in projects, but the rest of the community, or most of the community, do hold a high importance to that. As for speed, I feel like we are already curating that group that you mentioned, and those people are shining through already, which is incredible because that was something that I definitely thought would happen quite far down the line, which I'm really excited about. Yeah, what about yourself, Martin? What's your take on it?
I just think it's too early to really know. We're moving super fast in terms of like how much time we're devoting and trying to provide value, but I hope by the organic growth that we're experiencing, that we're not just building something unsustainable. So everything will be with the concept that I started this NFT project and I envisioned this project to where I could do this for the rest of my life. And so I was talking with Mikey G the other day, and he was like, and I was like, let's talk next year and see where our projects are. And he's like, oh, next year, like that's way too far ahead. Like you got like the NFT space, they want things now. Like we got next month. And I was like, I don't know, man. Like I see myself doing this for the next 30, 40, 50 years if I can. And so I'm going to look at this as a long-term process where we will generate a community of traders that are following and supporting each other to make calls in the crypto space, to talk about investments, to grow our alpha fund into one of the largest venture capital institutions in the Web3 space. Like those are long-term projects that require time. And I hope that there is a group of people that are starting to see that now in our club and are excited to play that long game of building this community. How many of those are doing that versus just in our Discord waiting for mint? Probably hard to say. And there's probably people on the fence that we can convert that once we mint, and once we start really just kind of focusing on the club, and the value and the calls that we're providing, people will never want to leave. That's the hope. But let's talk a little bit later. Let's have another one of these calls, and I think will be easier to answer that question.
No, I mean, I love the response, and I mean, what you quickly find out, or what I quickly found out, is that, and I shouldn't have been so naive, but there weren't many mature traders, or not traders, investors, that minted our NFT. I mean, I thought that there would be more people that read our white paper and believed in the long-term vision of the brand and project, and where I thought that number might be like 50%, it was more like 15%. And in my mind, it's almost like a reverse rug, to be honest, in my opinion. Like I feel like people rugged me, like I was, and I'm still here, I'm still building. But these people were in our Discord. Oh yeah, I love this, love that, and we minted, and the tables turned real quickly. Yeah, I mean, I feel rugged. Like, where are you? Like, I was expecting you to be on this journey with me, and you're not. So there's reverse rugs out there. Don't let it happen to you.
Yeah,
which is
it's a really good point. I like that term too, reverse rug.
Yeah. Before, as this starts to go into conversations that we all are quite passionate about, especially as we start talking about investors and that kind of thing, I do know that Martin, you have to go. Also, Jordan, you have to go as well as me. So let's wrap this up. You know, there's endless amounts of time as we've spoken about that we can be doing these. But yeah, I appreciate your time, Jordan. I appreciate your time, Martin. I think this has been great. The comment section in YouTube has had more of a conversation than we have had. It's been phenomenal. But yeah, as you said before, Martin, like I look forward to catching up in 6 months, in 12 months, in years to come, because this is a very long-term play for both of us, and it's the reason that we've come together is off of that similarity of this is a long-term vision. So I absolutely love what you're doing. If anyone's listening to this, I couldn't recommend enough to get aced into Jordan's project. It is really incredible. The utility is unheard of compared to any other PFP out there. And obviously, shameless plug as well. We are minting in a couple of weeks, so check us out as well. But yeah, look forward to it. And yeah,
don't forget to like and subscribe the channel, guys. We're going to be doing more of these alpha talks. So follow us, and let's have Jordan on here after we mint, maybe in a month or so again. Check up on each other.
That sounds great. Appreciate you guys for having me.
All right. Thank you a lot.